Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2.6 Phase 1 banner review. We have Rappa and Imbibed Lune as the 5 stars and Lynx, Xueyi and Yukong as 4 stars. We will go over how strong they are, where can they be played, and how valuable they are in the current meta. I will not go over 5-star Eidolons because I think the 4-star Eidolons are more interesting because you might get a couple of them if you are pulling on these banners. Anyways, we have our new character Rappa. Rappa is a strong 5-star adventure character who focuses on Super Break. I made a small video on her kit, so if you are interested you can check that out. But long story short, Rappa will be very solid. Rappa might be the strongest edition character in MOC as well. There's nothing more to say really, she's pretty solid. And now Imbibed Lune. Yeah, once upon a time the strongest character in the game, the strongest damage per screenshot at the time, but I do believe that people kinda overhyped him for a little bit. Because he would do around 250k with a 3 skill point enhanced attack, but that's like 83k per skill point. A well-built sealer could do around that or even more. But he did get some upgrades over time, Ho-Ho, Sparkle, etc. But right now in 2.5, the times have changed sadly and there are more shinier DPSs at the moment. To the point that I would not recommend anyone to get Imbibed Lune. It's not just him, it's all the traditional crit DPSs. All the meta DPSs right now has some kind of gimmick. Firefly, oh, I need a super break team. Acheron, oh, you need DHIL teams. Fire Shower, oh, you need follow-up teams. Every top character is in some kind of gimmicky team. But that's a different topic where the HSR meta is going. Anyways, now the 4 stars. Let's start with Lynx. Lynx used to be the best 4-star healer before Gallagher. But nowadays you want your healer to do a bit more than just healing. Having said that, Lynx has some good synergy with Blade, Clara and even Yunli. She gives more HP and taunt value to an ally, which is perfect for Blade. She can cleanse the entire team with her burst, which is very good for beginner players. When I was playing in 1.0, I had a Bailu and whenever I was fighting someone like Kafka, I wanted to jump off a building headfirst. Eidolons. E1 gives extra healing if you are below 50%, E2 makes you resist a debuff one time after skill or burst for one turn, E3 skill and basics, cool I guess, E4 gives a small attack buff when you heal an ally for one turn, E5 talent and ultimate, and E6 gives more HP and effect rest. I mean, altogether they are pretty decent Eidolons, nothing crazy, she is perfectly viable at E0. Next character, Xueyi. Xueyi might be the best 4-star Super Break DPS, and she is Quantum, and Quantum Break is pretty good. Because she is Quantum, you can fit her in the Mono Quantum team if you want. But I think Super Break Xueyi is where you get the most value from her, especially with Eidolons. But both playstyles are decent. She has a talent where every time you break toughness, she gets a stack. And when you get 8 stacks, you do a follow-up attack. That's where most of her damage comes from. With E6, it reduces to 6 stacks. And she has some very good Eidolons. Speaking of which, E1 gives you more follow-up damage. E2 makes your follow-up attack ignore the weakness type. This is actually a very good Eidolon. E3 skills and basic. E4 after ultimate she gets 40% break effect. E5 ult and talent, that's very good. E6 she now needs only 6 stacks to pro the follow-up attack. Altogether very good Eidolons, E2 and E6 especially. Now at last, Yukong. Yukong is in a weird spot actually, because what she does is very good. She gives a big attack buff with her skill and a huge crit rate crit damage buff with the ultimate, if the skill is active. Those are all good buffs, right? Especially for a 4-star. So why is no one talking about her? First of all, you have to know what you are doing with her. So how she works is, when you use the skill, until the next character's turn is over, your entire team gets an attack buff. And if you use the ultimate in this time, your entire team will get the massive crit rate and crit damage buff. So you would want your DPS to go right after Yukong. So you have to speed tune. That is issue number 1. Issue number 2 is, she only gives this massive buff with her ultimate. And normally you need 3 turns to get the ultimate back. That's like 2 cycles for an average player. So every 2 cycles you get a big buff where you burst your load all at once. In the current meta that is a bit too slow. Issue number 3, she synergizes very well with imaginary carries because she also gives an imaginary damage bonus. But are there any carries that can fit her into the team? Let's see. Welt, his best teams are normal Super Break, but yeah, but do you even play Welt in 2.6? Imbibe Lune, you have to use Yukong's skill every time to get her burst back. And if you do that, you are not doing 3 skill point basic attacks on Imbibe Lune. And if you play with Sparkle, maybe you could fit her in, but I would rather play Jing Yuan or Ruan Mei in that spot if they are available. And we have Dr. Ratio. Dr. Ratio's best teams are usually dual DPS, and in those teams you want to have a constant uptime on your buffs, because Topaz, March 7, Mose all do constant damage, and if you put Yukong, you might have troubles getting the 3 debuffs on Ratio. Even in the hypercarry Ratio teams, you are using Jing Yuan or Sparkle with Pella for the debuffs. Anyways, her Eidolons. Her E1 gives a speed buff at the start of the battle for 2 turns, which is whatever. E2, this can give you 15 energy per rotation, which can give you a 2-turn ultimate because her trace also gives her 2 energy every time an ally gets a turn. E3 is skill and basic. E4 increases her own damage, which is also whatever. E5 is talent and ultimate, which is good. And with E6 you don't have to wait anymore for your skill to do the ultimate. When your DPS is all ready for the big DPS window, you can just do Yukong's ultimate and bust your lord. So overall, if you get her E6 and you really want to play her, yeah, you can. But before E6, don't even touch her. Now the Lightcones. This is easy. Rappa's Lightcon. Best in slot for Rappa. Wow, shocking. It is pretty niche unless you play Super Break Jing Yuan or Himeko. Imbibe Lune's Lightcon, where our bro is chained up and sweating. It's also good for him. And the one with Sunday's face, after the Charmony fall. It's very good second option for Rappa. And one with Hani and Xueyi, I think, under the blue sky. It's a very solid distraction Lightcon if you can get a kill. The other one, it's an abundance Lightcon that gives 12 speed at S5, which is not that good. So overall, the 4-star Lightcons on the banner are the best in slot 4-star Lightcons for the banner characters. So that's actually very nice. I don't know who that abundance Lightcon is for, it actually looks like Grizzly. Anyways, that's it for the banner review. I hope this video gave some value regarding the characters and Lightcones. I wish you all the best for your pulls. I personally am skipping for Sunday maybe, because Jing Yuan buff incoming, hopefully. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.